Hello, myself Dr. BJD Kalyani, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering of Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. In this video, I will discuss regarding Agile software development. This topic learning outcome is mapped to the course learning outcome of identify the appropriate process models, approaches and techniques to manage a given software development process, that is the CO1. And in this video, I will discuss regarding what are the software process model, how Agile software process model is different from traditional models, what are various Agile software process models. So, to discuss elaborately, first we will look into what is software process model. So, every software engineering organization should describe a unique set of framework activities. So, based on this process model, the set of framework activities are different. So, the organization, the software engineering organization must select the appropriate framework for the development of the software. So, a software process model is an abstract representation of the development process. So, here it describes what are the activities or task set, but how to implement these tasks is not described in the process model. So, it gives an abstract view of the software development phases. So, this model specify the stages and order of the process. Variety of software process models are available. They are the waterfall model, V-shaped model, RAD model, prototype model, spiral model, iterative and increment model, Agile development model. So, in this video, we discuss on the Agile software development. What is Agile software development is an umbrella term for approaches to develop software that reflect the values and principles agreed upon by the Agile Alliance, a group of 17 software practitioners in 2001. So, here Agile Manifesto is described in the Agile Alliance. The Alliance comprises of 17 software engineering enterprises. So, based on those Agile Manifesto principles, the software is developed in the Agile software development model. So, this software developed framework that values flexibility, collaboration, customer satisfaction. So, the three key areas that is focused by the Agile software development is flexibility. The change of the customer requirement can be accommodated at any stage of the project development. Collaboration between the teamwork and the customer satisfaction. More quality software is delivered to the customer with the Agile software development. What is Agile Manifesto? That is agreed by the Agile Alliance. The group of 17 software engineering organizations are satisfy customers through early and continuous delivery of valuable work. The next principle is break big work down into small tasks that can be completed quickly. Recognize that the best work emerges from self-organized teams. The next principle is provide motivated individuals with environment and support they need and trust them to get the job done. Next one is create processes that promote sustainable efforts. Maintain a constant pace of completed work. So, the key processes of the flexibility, collaboration and quality is achieved by following these Agile Manifesto principles. And welcoming changing requirement even late in the project is the main principle in the Agile software development, which is not possible in the traditional software development like in waterfall model. Assemble the project team, business owners on a daily basis throughout the project. So here the big task of the project is divided into small part, which is generally referred as sprint in the Agile software development. The sprint meetings must be held generally daily basis in order to discuss the progress of the project. Have the team reflect at regular intervals on how to become more effective, then tune and adjust behavior accordingly. Measure progress by the amount of completed work. Continuously seek excellence. So harness change for a competitive advantage. So the core values from the Agile manifesto are: individual iterations are more important than processes and tools. So the iterations and the tasks that are completed in the iteration, the outcome of this iteration is majorly concentrated in the Agile software development rather than what case tools are used, how the processes are ordered. Next core value is focusing on working software rather than thorough documentation. So the documentation is giving the alternative priority, but development of quality software is the first priority in the Agile software development. Collaboration instead of contact negotiations. A focus on responding to change is concentrated in the Agile manifesto. What is the Agile model? The meaning of Agile is shift or versatile. So Agile process model refers to a software development framework based on the iterative development. The basic core value of focus on the iteration is taken care in the Agile software development. Agile methods break tasks into smaller iterations or parts that do not directly involve long-term planning. So short-term tasks are focused clearly. The project scope and requirements are laid down at the beginning of the development process. So plans regarding the number of iterations, the duration, the scope of each iteration are clearly defined in advance during the planning phase by the project manager. So here this is the Agile model. So in this first the brainstorming session must be there in order to analyze the requirement. So thorough communication techniques can be used to gather the requirement. After that, analysis can be done with requirement engineering process by analyzing the requirement, discovering the requirement, prioritizing and classifying the requirement, and validating the requirement. After these requirements are finalized, the feasibility study must be conducted. And after this, the design phase must be commenced. So the prototype quick design must be done, and with the customer feedback, it can be revised. The next one is development. So here the actual software code must be developed and it can be shown to the customer with the acceptance testing. And next one is the quality assurance. So here majorly the SQA team is working to achieve the quality and how to deliver the software in the deployment phase. So the alpha testing and beta testing is done, and after that the software is put into operation at the client site in the development phase. So this is the general Agile model. So the general phases of the Agile software development is meet, plan, design, develop, test, evaluate. These are the phases of the Agile software development. So these phases must be comprises into the concept, inception, iteration or construction, release, production, retirement. The steps are clearly stated in the phases of the Agile process model. During the concept phase, the identification of business opportunities in each potential project as well as an estimation of the time work that will be required to complete the project is concentrated. This information is used to prioritize projects and discern which ones are the worth pursuing based on the technical and economic feasibility. So requirements are analyzed and feasibility study is conducted in the concept phase of the Agile software development. The next phase is the inception phase. During this phase, the team members are identified, funding opportunities, initial requirements discussed with the customer. A timeline should also be created that outlines the various responsibilities of the team, clearly define when work is expected to be completed with sprint. So the project scheduling, effort distribution is the major activities carried out in the inception phase. So here sprint is the term that is used frequently in the Agile development of the software. So a sprint is set of period of time during which the specific work has to be completed and made ready for the review. The next phase of the Agile software development is iteration or construction. The Agile software development cycle relies on the iterations. So it is majorly concentration on the iterations rather than the tools that are used for the construction of the software. So the iteration that build upon each other and led into the next step of the overall development process until project is completed. So these iterations are continue until the project is completed. Each iteration typically lasts between 2 to 4 weeks. The time duration of each iteration must be 2 to 4 weeks with a set of completion date. So the goal is to have a working product to launch at the end of each iteration. So multiple iterations occur throughout the development cycle and they each process their own workflow. Next phase is the release phase. So in this phase involves final quality assurance and testing activity, resolution of any remaining defects, finalization of the system and user documentation. At the end, release the final iteration to the production. The production phase focus on ongoing support that are necessary to maintain the software. The development teams must keep the software running smoothly and also teaching users exactly how to use it. So the developed system is put into operation at the client side. The production phase continue until support has ended. The product is planned for the retirement. The retirement phase is incorporate all the end of life activities such as notifying customers, final migration. So the system release must be removed from the production. So this is usually done when the system need to be replaced by a new release and if the system become outdated, unnecessary or starts is to going against the business model. What are the types of the Agile methodologies? Variety of process models are developed with the Agile methodology. One is the Scrum, Lean Software Development, Extreme Programming, in short we can refer as XP, Crystal, Kanban, Dynamic System Development Method DSDM, Feature Driven Development FDD. The first variety of the Agile development process model is Scrum. Scrum is lightweight Agile framework that can be used by the project managers to control all type of iterative and incremental projects. In Scrum, the product owner creates a product backlog that allows them to work with their team to identify and prioritize system functionality. So the product backlog is a list of everything that need to be accomplished to deliver a successful working software. So once the product backlog is defined, no additional functionality is added or expected by the corresponding users. So no change of requirement is allowed once the backlog is finalized. Next variety of Agile software development is the Lean software development. Lean software development places a focus on using effective value stream mapping to ensure the team delivers values to the customer. So focus more on quality rather than the development. The Lean method relies on fast, reliable feedback between the customers, programmers in order to provide fast and efficient development workflows. So to accomplish this, it provides individuals and small teams with decision-making authority instead of relying on a hierarchical flow controls as in previous models. Next variety of Agile process model is Extreme Programming XP. This method is a disciplined approach that focuses on the speed and continuous delivery. So it promotes increased customer involvement, fast feedback loops, continuous planning, testing, and close the teamwork. So software is delivered at frequent intervals, usually every 1 to 3 weeks. So the goal is to improve software quality, responsiveness when faced with changing customer requirement. So in the short duration of 1 to 3 weeks, the sprint must be delivered and continuous customer feedbacks are taken in order to refine the sprint. So majorly focusing on speed and continuous delivery of the project in case of extreme programming. Next variety of Agile process model is Crystal. So it focuses on the people and the iteration. So that occur while working on the Agile project as well as business criticality and priority of the system under development. The Crystal method works off the realization that every project possesses unique characteristics that require a slightly tailored set of policies, practices, and processes. So as a result, it is made up of a collaboration of Agile process models such as Crystal Orange, Crystal Clear, Crystal Yellow. So here, after taking the requirement can be analyzed and are classified. The similar category of requirement can be grouped as a with one color like crystal orange, crystal clear and crystal yellow by setting the priority of development of that task set. So each model has its unique characteristics that are driven by different factors including project priorities, size as well as the complexity or criticality. Next variety of Agile software development is Kanban. Kanban uses a highly visual workflow management method so that allows teams to actively manage product creation by emphasizing continuous delivery without creating more stress on the software development life cycle. So it uses 3 basic principles. First one is visualize the workflow. limit the amount of work in progress, and improve the flow of work. So it encourages continuous collaboration, attempts to define the best possible workflow in order to promote an environment with active and ongoing learning and improvement. Dynamic system development method is based on the 8 key principles. So that they are the on-time delivery, demonstrated control, continuous and clear communication, a constant focus on the business node, iterative development, creation in increment from firm foundations, refusal to compromise the quality. So these principles, based on this, the DSDM Agile process can be developed. The last Agile process model is the feature-driven development (FDD). So it blends software engineering best practices such as developing by feature, code ownership, domain object modeling to create a cohesive model-driven short iteration process. So FDD begins by defining an overall model shape, which in turn creates a feature list. The method then proceeds with iterations that last 2 weeks and focus on planning by feature, designing by feature, building by feature. So the requirement and the features that are specified by the customer is majorly concentrated. It is the input for the project, and efficient features are delivered to the customer in the FDD method. When to use this Agile methodology? When the frequent changes of the requirement are required, when highly qualified and experienced team is available, when a customer is ready to have a meeting with a software team all the time, when the project size is small, the Agile model is preferred. What are the advantages of Agile software development? The frequent delivery of the project, face-to-face communication with the clients are possible, efficient design and fulfills the business requirement, anytime changes are acceptable, it reduces total development time. The disadvantages of Agile software development is due to shortage of formal documents, it creates confusion, and crucial decisions taken throughout various phases can be misinterpreted at any time by different team members. So documentation is required along with the development and quality focus. Due to the lack of proper documentation, once the project completes and the developer allot another project, the maintenance is finished, project can become a difficulty. So these are the disadvantages of Agile software methodology. So now we will compare the Agile software development with the traditional waterfall development model by taking variety of parameters. The first parameter is the project scope. Agile works without well-defined scope and can make changes in advance within the budget and time. But in case of traditional model, it is a great difficulty. The scope works better in the waterfall model, well-defined, and changes are limited. The change cannot be adapted. It is a great difficulty in case of waterfall methodology. By taking parameter as customer, Agile enables customer to be part of the entire project. So face-to-face communication, the feedback mechanism is clearly defined in Agile methodology. But in waterfall model requires customer involvement only at the time of the milestones, generally during the first phase while gathering the requirements. The next parameter is the team. Agile requires a small and mid-sized team of developers with high coordination. team coordination and agile team is required for the agile methodology. But in waterfall model, it needs a large team of developers with a lesser coordination. Next, the feasibility. Agile project management requires feasibility, but waterfall management does not require the feasibility. So, feature prioritization. Agile has a quality of prioritizing the features, but in case of waterfall model, it does not prioritize the features. The testing is executed at every iteration, but testing is conducted at the end in case of waterfall model. The funding, Agile works well when the funding has no limit. Waterfall works well under fixed funding environment. So in this video, I have discussed about what are the Agile software models available and when the Agile model can be preferred, what are the phases of the Agile software development. The references that I used in this video are this. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.